It is Dawn Duval coming to you from Fort Myers, Florida. It is Friday, March 6th, and it's a little bit before 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And today is our Fundamental Friday. So I'm going to be showing you a new fun opening kind of fold card. So come on in and make yourself comfortable. And I am going to go ahead and get the chat set up. And we will get started here in about 4 to 5 minutes. All right, let's see if we can get this going here. All right, there you go. We are up and loading and ready for y'all to come in, have a seat, and we will start here. Over. Get our other parts used off the side. All right. Okie doke. The comments are open, and we will give it about 4 more minutes, and then we're going to get started. Not quite 12 o'clock. Okie doke. We got a little paper. I don't know if we get that. Let's just double check everything is hunky dory. Let's see, what are we doing? Okay, let's see. We want to go to root. My group. Do. Let's see. Look, if I find my Facebook page, here we go. I think we should be good to go here. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. No, that's my page. Let me find, there we go. Yep, there we go. We're live. Okay, we are live and recording. All right, so we got about 2 minutes and we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. We will get started in about 2 minutes. Let's see. I've already done my introduction. We are ready to roll. We got a fun fold lighting card that we're going to make today. And this is one that I saw from Karen Titus. So she always comes up with some really unique cards. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, welcome. Come on in, have a seat. We're going to get started in about maybe 2 minutes. Hope everybody is doing well. the chat is open, so if you'd like to let me know that you're out there. If you're new to my channel, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure that you subscribe. If you like, and then share the video when we get done. If you like what you saw, share those with your crafty friends. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and then click the bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. That way you won't miss out on anything. So, and I'm going to start in about probably 30 seconds or so. We've got some workers that are going to be coming in. I've asked them to wait till about 1:45. They're going to be checking alarm systems and things of that nature. So hopefully we'll get this done by about 12:45. So it should be probably 45 minutes. We might get done sooner than that. I'm going to make 2 cards. So again, I'm Dawn Duvall coming to you from Fort Myers, Florida. I'm an independent demonstrator, and I am starting my 15th year of, well, actually, I've been with Stampin' Up 15 years. I'm going into my 16th year. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be working with the Inspiring Imperfection stamp set and dies, which they've been out for a year or so, and I just thought, let's pull out one of the oldies but goodies. So I'm going to flip the camera down, so give me just a moment. I need to go ahead and get this done. Let me flip it so it's in the right direction. Get my camera adjusted just a little bit. Bear with me. Sorry. I want to make sure we get everything in the camera. All right. I don't like it looking so flat, but there we go. I think that should work. I got my little paper cutter out because I only have a few things I need to cut, and everything seems to be a little jumbled up. So, but that's okay. All right. So this is the stamp set that we're going to be working with. Let me get my cords out of the way. This is one that we came out with, and we all fell in love with it. And I thought, well, let's bring it out again. So this is the Inspiring Perfection. This is the Japanese. It's what they do is try to make their all their craftware pottery look like it's been cracked, and then they fill it with gold filling. So these are like the filling things. And now this does come. This is 11 photopolymer stamp, and then it comes with 9 dies. So we've got a sentiment die, we've got 2 of the vase dies, and then flowers, the vines, some leaves, another flower, and just little mini things there. So this is what we're going to be working with. Now let me show you the card that we're going to make. Here's one. This is one that we made, and then I'll show you the other one. This is one we're not going to make. We're going to be making this style but different colors. So this is using the Gallery of Bloom stamp set on this particular one. And this is Pretty in Pink cardstock with one of the designer papers. And I tried to pick a neutral type. And then you open it, and it opens like that. Isn't that clever? So you fold the card, and then you open it up, and then this slides right out. You can decorate this if you choose to do so. I chose not to. And then the other card, the one that we're actually going to be making, let me show you that one. This one, and this is using that Inspiring Imperfection. So this is the card. I'm going to do the same color scheme and do a little bit of blending as well. So this is the actual card that we'll make here in just a minute. And you slide it open, and then again, there's a place that you can write all of your messages or whatever you would like to write to that particular person. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I will give you all of the measurements as we go along. Let's put this off to the side here. I'm going to put it at an angle so you can see it. Now, I'm working with Misty Moonlight. And on this one, I didn't do my scoring. So I guess I'm going to have to show you how to score, not that you don't know how to do that. I did it on the other card, and I thought I'd already done it on this one, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to score. This is going to be, this piece here is 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so it's not quite the size because we're going to use another piece for our card base. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a card base that's 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's going to be our base. And then the second piece here is going to be our mechanism that's going to hold everything and move everything. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a score line at 2 3/4. So we're going to line this up at the 2 3/4 mark. Make sure you get it lined up at the top and bottom. So we're going to score that. And then we're going to come down. Let me get my arm opened up here. And we're going to come down to 6 3/4. So we want to do 6 3/4, and then we're going to score that on that side as well. Okay, so that's going to be the mechanism that's going to hold all of our stuff, flowers, designs, paper, and all of that. All right, then you're going to have a piece that's cut. This piece here is going to be cut at 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, and then this one we're going to score on the short side. So on the 3/4 inch side, which is right here, we're going to score at 3/8 of an inch. Okay. So I'm going to go to the right side where my trimmer is. So right here is your quarter mark. You can see that. We're going to move over 2 lines to get to the 3/8 inch. All right. So we're going to do a score line on that. Set that off to the side. Then you're going to have a piece of basic white, and that piece is going to be 3 by 4, and that's going to be what you're going to put on the inside of the card that you're going to put your message on. And then we have our designer paper. Let me move the trimmer out of the way because we don't need that anymore. I went ahead and cut the paper. Let me put this in here. So give me 1 second. All right. So then you're going to have 2 strips of designer series paper. These are going to be at 2 1/2 by 5 inches. So 2 1/2 by 5. And then we're going to have a 1 1/4 piece by 5 inches. Okay. So that's what we need to create this beautiful card. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start doing our folding. I'm going to fold everything and then I'll start coloring that card. So on our score lines, this is the 2 3/4. So we're just going to fold that in towards the center, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this is how your card is going to look. Let me get in here. Okay, so it's going to look like this, and then it's going to open like that. Well, this isn't going to open, but that's how you're going to set that up. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and give this a good burnish with our bone folder. All right. Now I went ahead and stamped and cut these out to save time. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add one of these pieces of designer paper to the front of our left side of the card. All right. Let me move this over here. All right. So we're going to put this piece and make sure you get everything going in the right direction. So again, this is 2 1/2 by 5 inches. So 2 1/2 by 5. All right, so there's 2 1/2. And this is a piece that I used also from that coordinating paper, which is the Sympathy Inspirations. I don't have much of this left. This is still, you can find this in the online exclusives in the online catalog. And you've got all this beautiful paper. I'm sure you all have seen this. You all were doing when it first came out, everybody was making these cards. Okay, so the next piece, we have 2 of these, right? 2 by 5, 2 1/2. We're going to put that on the inside of this cover as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to get that on there. So we'll put this one on this inside of the left side. And again, it's 2 1/2 by 5 inches. All right. And then this piece, the 1 1/4, we're going to fold that in and put that on the front of this flap. So it's going to go right there. All right. So we'll go ahead and get this one glued down. And we might be done by 12:30, which probably the workers that are going to be coming in to check our alarm systems and all of that will be happy. So we've got that on that side right there. Now we have a piece, the piece that we did that was 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, and we scored it on 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to fold that down, And then what we'll do when we get ready, I'm going to put the white on it after I stamp it. This is going to get lined up. The end of this piece right here is going to get lined up right on this, centered on that score line. So it's going to butt up to that score line, and then it's going to fold over. Okay, so we'll do that in just a moment. I'm going to get my piece stamped, the inside of my cardstock, because I'm going to place that on here. So the inside of my cardstock, I've got a small stamp that says, "I'm here for you." And then that will leave me room that I can write stuff on there as well. So let me grab my Misty Moonlight ink, which I know I've pulled it out. Oh, it's up here. Nope. Hang on. Where did I do with my, oh, it's over here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stamp that. And if you've got a larger stamp, then you may want to stamp it towards the left, because this is going to slide under this piece here. I'm going to go ahead and put mine somewhat centered, because I think it's small enough, it's going to be fine. It's a very small stamp, actually. But that gives me plenty of time, or plenty of room, that I can write my sentiment. And then you can always stamp some flowers or whatever you want at the bottom. Okay. So let me move this over here. Now we're going to add this to this piece right here, and we're going to glue that down. So let's go ahead and do that. You're going to center it between that score line and the other edge of the paper. So we'll lay that right here. And again, you're just going to line that up and get it centered. All right. So you can use tear and tape on here, which fits perfectly, or you can use your seal if that's easier. I would encourage you to use a little bit stronger glue, since this is going to be moving back and forth every time you open it. All right. So we'll go ahead and let's just do some tear and tape on this, because it fits perfectly between our score line and the edge of our card. All right, so we're going to go ahead and peel this off. We'll attach that. Now, again, as I mentioned, we're going to come in this way. Oops, gotta come in this way. All right, so this is the front of the card. We're going to turn it right here is where we want to attach it. So I'm going to turn it this way so I can see. And I'm going to line this up right to the edge, and I'm going to try to make sure I've got it centered where I want it. I'm just going to eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exactly right. So I'm going to lay it down, right, butt it up against that score line, and press down. And now we have that part of the card. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add 2 more strips, small strips of the tear tape. And we're going to do that on the right side of this card, and you're going to put it right towards the bottom, because we don't want anything to interfere with the opening of this card, right? So we're going to put one little piece there, and we're going to put one right up here. And that's what we'll do, is close this down, and that's going to adhere it. So that's going to be our pocket where the card slides into. So we'll go ahead and remove this tape, and it's a very simple card. So I think the hardest part is deciding how you're going to decorate the front and smoothing your paper, right? All right, so we're going to move that, and we're going to close it like this. Put that down, and now you can see our card will close. It's going to take a minute or two to get it pushed in. Now we've got it in there, it closes. And you can decorate on this side of the card too if you choose to do so. I'm leaving it blank. All right, so now I've gone ahead and I've already pre-cut the vase and 2 of the flowers. One is I colored an extra one, but this is in Highland Heather. I'm going to use Fresh Freesia. So I think we'll have 2 different colors of the flowers, which one will be a little bit darker, which is fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is come in with my dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to come in all of these little areas that look like the leaves. These I'm going to do in yellow, okay, right here, these little things. And then the leaf itself, if you look, they've got actual leaves. I'll do those in granny apple green. So all of these little leafy looking things I'm going to do in Daffodil Delight, dark. All right, so we're just going to come in here, and it's not going to take long because these are very small areas to color. And I'm doing it in the dark, so I want it to kind of stand out some. So we're just going to come around, and you want to make sure that you don't hit the green that you're going to color your grass in. I mean the leaves in. So we're going to come in here and do our coloring, and you can color these whatever color you choose. It's your card, so you choose your own color scheme. Whatever you are in the mood to color, that works fine. All right, and so most of these, and these are probably leaves, they could be green, but I didn't want the whole thing to be green, so I wanted to give it a little bit more color to it. I'm going to make these Daffodil Delight as well, and then I'm going to come in with some of the other colors and probably highlight some of these little swirly things as well. Okay, let me make sure I've got, here's one up here we need to do. And then this one, I'm just going to color over it. It comes through black, but that's fine. Okay, so I think we're good with that. All right, now we're going to move into coloring the leaves. I'm using the dark, and let me do the light granny apple. We only have 2 leaves. I'll come back with the dark to do the veins. So we'll go ahead and get this colored, and we'll color this one. And I'll come back and do the center vein and the darker color to give it a little bit of accent. So those are our 2 leaves that we have right there. Okay, and let's come back in with our dark granny apple. Welcome everyone, welcome, welcome. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just do the veins itself and come in and give it a little dark there. And I'm going to leave it. You can come back if you want with the lighter shade and shade it over that. I'm going to leave it that way. And then I'm going to come in with the light. Now this one I'm using fresh, did I say fresh? Yeah, fresh freeze. The other ones, I'm sorry, the other ones I did were Highland Heather. So we're going to do fresh freeze on the flowers. So we're going to come in, and I'm using the light. And I'm just going to go through and color all of these little areas here. And then I'll come back and put some little accents on them when I get done. So we're just going to color these. I thought I'd change up the color and see which one we like better. So we're just going to come in there. And then I'm going to come in just around this little thing here and make these little swirls. I don't know what those are, so we're just going to color them, add a little bit more color to our card, and then we're going to do a little bit of blending as well. This one, and I think I'll do this one right here. And let's come back and just give it a little bit of the darker. Whoops, look at that one. This one doesn't want to come out. Hang on one second. There we go. All right, this is the dark Fresh Freesia. So I'm just going to come in and do a little darkness in the center of these flowers here. We'll do a little bit here. And then I think I might do a little bit of accent on these little guys. All right, we've got that. Okay. Now we're going to come back and I'm going to do some blending. And then we'll stamp this, we'll color this flower. So I'm going to take my I'm going to take my small blending brush and the Misty Moonlight ink, and we're going to, a lot of noise, aren't I, Karen? We're going to just blend, darken, not darken, but kind of dim the white, okay? So I'm just going to come off on the paper, just fold this down some. And we'll come back in and we're going to do some, just trying to get the vase to come in a little bit darker than what it is. So I'm just going to lightly, and you can see it's how it's adding color to that. And then you always want to tap off before you start your blending, because then it will tend to get to a big black blob. May not be the big, the color that you want to have. So you just kind of just keep rolling it around until you get the consistency of the color that you would want. And I think I'm going to do a little bit more down at the bottom here because I feel like it's not getting as much color as I'd like it to have. There we go. Just enough to kind of darken that white. And we'll come back in here. Okay. I think that's good enough. Oh, in the back side. Okay. I think that looks good. Oh, wait, hang on. We got to do a little bit right here. So let's just, we'll just rub a little bit more. I'll just go really light here. Okay. I think that'll work. So now, I probably should have an X-Acto knife. I've got one somewhere and I'm not sure where it's at, but I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut. First of all, this is where you need an X-Acto knife, but I'm just going to cut a little slit in here. So I'm going to pull it down with my scissors and try to cut it that way, and then I'm going to come back and actually get it to go through. The reason I'm doing that is I want my flowers to look like they're in the vase. So I'm just going to do a little snipping here once I get it through the cardstock, and then I'm just going to cut a, there we go. We're going to get that opened up so I can put the flowers inside of that, okay? So we're going to leave this here. I'm going to move this out of the way. And then we're going to come in and we're going to color this last flower. I guess I do need my paper in case I decide to color on this, and I'm going to clean it up. So let's do Rainy Apple Green again. And I'm going to use the dark on the leaf. And this one you can tell I got cut a little bit. I guess I probably should have done the light, but that's okay. We'll do dark. It's fine. So we'll just color these little guys here. And then we're going to come in with the light fresh freezer and color our petals, and then we'll come back and do a little bit of highlighting. So we just, and this is pretty easy because they're all kind of lumped together, right? So I'll come back with the darker shade and give it some, give it a little bit of texture and make it look like it's a little bit darker. And we'll just color. This is really a fun card. For those of you who have just joining, this is a new fun sliding fold card. I got this from Karen Titus, and I will show you that in just a moment. You can see the card right here. And it's a really, oh, there we go again. It's a very unique opening. I had not seen a card like this before, and I think it's fun. You can tell it's my, look at that. My dark fresh freeze. I have to hold it tight here so I can get the lid off, which now doesn't want to cooperate. Hang on. We might not be using the dark. There we go. You can tell I probably need to order a new one of these, right? Okay, so we're just going to bring this in and just give it a little bit of some darkness here. We'll go up the edges. Not much. I'm just going to try to take a little bit, probably because this needs to be replaced. That's all right. We'll just give it a little bit of darkness. There we go. And you can see the difference in our colors. Highland Heather, and then fresh freezer. Okay, so we got two different colors, which is fine. No biggie. All right, that's that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring our card in, and we're going to dress up the front. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some dimensionals on this, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment, and we'll trim those down. So let me put my flowers how I want them. So I'm going to put one down so it's kind of hanging this way, and then I want one that's going to be kind of like that, okay? So I'm going to flip these over and use my dimensionals to help hold them in place how I want them, all right? So that kind of kills two birds with one stone. Hopefully that works. So I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to put this one right here so it's fixed right there. And then we'll pop some dimensionals down. And it really is a fun card, the way it opens. So y'all are going to see how easy it is. And I'll go over the measurements for those that just joined here in just a moment. I'll do that again. And that way you don't have to go back. Well, you can watch the replay. But all right, so we're going to lay that on here. Go ahead. let's pull the dimensionals, and then we're going to do one more card when we get done. We'll have another one we're going to do. We're using the horse set that we used a Tuesday night. So the, what is it called? The Unbridled Beauty. I've got that one. I thought would be fun to do. All right. Okay. So we're going to lay this right here. But if it hangs over a little bit on, it's to the right, it's fine. We're going to lay those down, just as long as you don't pack that down. And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. So I'm going to stamp that. Actually, I think I'm going to use the smaller piece here, and then I can cut using my paper trimmer. Hopefully I can use the one. I'm going to have to use the other one, but whatever, we'll see. All right, so this is one we're using, for those that just joined, the Inspiring Imperfection stamp set, and of course the dies to cut out the vase. All right, so we're going to stamp our sentiment, and I'm going to put it down towards the bottom, and then I can just cut up around it. You know you'll get through this and be stronger for it. And you can put whatever you like for your sentiment. So I am going to try to bring in this little guy. Let's see if we can get him. I haven't used him in a while. So let's see if we can get him in here to cooperate. So I'm going to cut that. And then let's move this over here. I keep forgetting to have this little guy. It makes it a lot easier than trying to bring out the big one. I'm going to try to line it up on this mark right there. All right, I think that works. That's so much easier than when you don't have a lot of room, right? Okay, let me just set this down, move this off to the side for a second. And I'm going to save this for the next card because I think we're going to need that. Give me a minute. Let me just clean the papers off. You know, when you're working in a smaller area, you got to be a little bit more cognizant and, all right, so there we go. Now we could trim that down a little bit more. Let's see if I can do it straight, because I think that's a little bit too much white. So I'm just going to try to do it with my paper snip. That was pretty good. All right, and this one, we are going to, I'm trying to decide, did I pop this up? I can't remember. No, I didn't. I'm going to lay it right there, because I don't want to pop it up on the sides, or it's going to look like it's popped up, right? Maybe I put let me see if I put a little, no, I did not. So it's laying there. It'll be fine. So we're going to put some glue on this. I'll put it in the center, and then we'll add some, embellishment. So we're going to put that right up here, and you want to keep it from going over the sides. And then I have these, retired little, festive pearls. I'm going to use the gold since I've colored that in Daffodil Delight. And we'll put one, whoopsie, I'm going to put one here, just like I did on the other card, and put one here, kind of offset a little bit. And then I'll put one up, let's put one up here, kind of give it our 3. All right, and I've already stamped the inside, so let me show you that. And then I'll go over the measurements when we get ready to do the other card. So hang on, just stay with me. All right, so here's the card, and then you open it, and it slides open. Isn't that great? And you can decorate this side if you choose to. And one of the things that's nice, we're going to use one of those papers, and I'll show you in just a minute. So there's the card, and that's how it opens. All right, so we're going to lay those right there, and I'll give you the measurements. Now we're going to do the second card, so let me pull that in. One of the nice things about what you can do with this is the papers that have the like the scenes, the background scenes like this. This is from the gallery. Let me see. Hang on. This is Beautiful Gallery 6x6 papers. So these you can cut them down and have your scene. Now, of course, one's going to be front to back, but that's what you can do. So I use one of these sets for this one, and we are using the Unbridled Beauty horse stamp. And I've already, what I did was I went ahead and stamped the horse and colored it, and I fussy cut it out. So I didn't want you all to sit there and watch me do that. So let me put these markers away, and then I will give you the measurements again so you can write those down. All right, so you're going to need a 5.5 by 4.25. This is going to be your card base. So, hang on a minute. Back it up. I forgot to put this on my card base. This is 5.5 by 4.25. This goes on the card base. I completely forgot. So good thing I caught that. So I guess you don't have to, but that's why we're cutting it a little bit shorter because we want it to be on its own base. So my apologies for that. So we're going to lay this right here. It's going to have 1/8 of an inch all the way around. There we go. That's better. So now it's the regular size card. Gives you a little bit more to grab a hold of. All right, so you'll put that on that. There we go. Now let's start this again. So your base is going to be 4.25 by 5.5. Then you're going to take a piece of coordinating cardstock, and that is going to be 8.25 by 5.25, and you're going to score it at 2 3/4 on this one end, and then the other end is 6 3/4. Okay, so you've got 2 3/4, 6 3/4. All right, so let's go ahead and get that. Let me burn it. And this is such an easy, it really is an easy, quick card once you get it done. All right, then you're going to need a piece that is, let me find a minute, 3 3/4 by 4.25. 3 3/4 by 4.25. And on the 3 3/4 side, you're going to score it at 3/8 of an inch. And that's going to be our folding part. That's going to be our mechanism for the card to open and slide. Okay. So 3 3/4 by 4.25. And then you're scoring at 3 1/8, and that will be on the left side. Okay, so that's the left side. Then you're going to take a piece of either basic white. This is very vanilla. This is 3 by 4. That's going to be for my sentiment that will go on the inside. And then I cut this design here, and you're going to cut your designer's paper. You want 2 pieces that are 2.5 by 5 inches. So you want 2 of those, and then you want one that is 1 1/4 by 5 inches. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to start putting it together. Now this one shouldn't take very long because I've obviously already did the horse, and that took most of the time by cutting him out and coloring him. So we're going to go ahead and add this, and this is part of that Gallery of Blooms paper. So we're going to lay that right here. I just love that horse set. You're going to see me using a lot of that. And then I got we have a camera one came in. We've got another one with some ocean water. It's beautiful. I haven't started working on those yet either. All right, so you're going to place the 2.5 by 5 on the front. And then you're going to set the other piece is going to go on this side here. And again, if you want to decorate the inside, you can. Just be careful that, you might have a little bit of lift and bulk there. So again, you want to lay that on the inside of the back of your top flap, left flap. Okay, so that's going to go there. All right, so that's what that looks like. And then this piece is going to get placed right here. Okay, so we're going to do that. All right. And that's going to go here. We'll place that right about there. All right. Okay, so we've got all of that together. So there's the start of our card. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece here. Now, this is going to line up with this 6 3/4 score line. And we're going to put some parent tape on here. You're going to line it right up to that score line, and that's what's going to hold it down so it folds over. And then this is where you're going to put your inside of your message. You can stamp it with designs or whatever you want to do. Okay. So we're going to use our parent tape, which is nice because it fits perfectly, if I can find it, in our, cut it out. What did I do with it? Hang on. Bear with me. All right, we don't have parent tape there. What did I do? Hang on a minute. What did I do with my parent tape? Okay. All right. Oh, right in front of me. Because it blends in, see? All right. So let's go ahead and put a piece of parent tape on this little 3/8 of an inch piece. And we're going to tear that right there. Tear that off. All right. So that we'll go ahead and peel. So if you like this card, tell me in the comments that you liked it. And hopefully if you'll create this, then you'll share that with us. So I'm going to center this, and I'm just going to eyeball. If you want to be perfect, you can use your ruler, make a little mark, so you'll have them even. But I'm just going to line it right up to that score line and push this down. All right, so that's going to go there. And then we're going to take some parent tape and put on this end. And before we close it, I'm going to go ahead and put the parent tape here. You want to put it as close to the bottom as you can. Or if you use like your strip, your seal, you can do that. But you just want to make sure this doesn't get in the way of your closing and opening mechanism. Okay? We don't want the paper to get where it won't pull. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiments on this before I close this up. So the inside, I'm going to use, the front, I'm going to stamp, it's about the journey. And on the inside, I'm going to stamp, thanks for being a true friend. And we're going to stamp that in early espresso. And I'm going to stamp this in the center because it should be pretty easy when it closes. I think we'll be able to see it. I may stamp it to the left, just a slight amount. I think I will, just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to stamp that right about there. And they're going to open it. So, all right, we've got that. And now I'll go ahead and add this to the top of the slide. Okay. And we'll go ahead and plop that down on here. So we're going to place that right here. And it's giving you plenty of room. All right, and so see how it's going to fold? Now we're going to come in and we're going to remove this. And again, you can decorate. I probably wouldn't put too much on the, you could put something if you wanted on this side, but just remember you're going to add more bulk to your card. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pull this up. And I'm going to fold this down and do my edges. And you see how our design looks like it's coming through. So we're going to fold it up and you open it. See how that works? And then that's going to look like that. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so now we're going to decorate the front. And I think it's going to be, I can't decide if I want to stamp the sentiment right there. And I think I will. I think I'm just going to stamp it right in the clouds in the early espresso, and I think hopefully it's going to stand out. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed because that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we're just going to stamp it right here. I'm not going to put it on cardstock. I'm going to stamp it right on the designer paper. I'm going to hold it for an extra couple of seconds just to make sure I do get my ink transfer. Oh, perfect. Look at that. That is wonderful. Okay, so now the next thing, I guess I don't need my scrap for that one, huh? All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our horse. And I'm going to put him on dimensionals. Now, his nose, because he's a little bit larger, he's going to be over. I'm not going to put anything there, so that's not going to affect this opening. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals so he's popped up. So we're going to add dimensionals to the back of him. And we'll get those on there. And I'll use some small dimensionals, probably on his leg. And let me find them. Hang on a second. We'll do a little one. I'm not going to put it on his head, but we're going to put some down here on his leg. And they'll be inside the card. I'm going to put one right here. And then I think I'm going to put one. Let me see. I might have to cut that. Let's put, hang on a second. I'm going to put a little sliver. It should be fine. And I with this is Stampin' and early espresso, and then I use the pecan pie blend to color, and then I use the early espresso to cover his book. So I'm thinking, I think we probably, yeah, maybe we need a little piece. Let me get one and see if I can cut it in half. We'll put half on one side. We'll put one, yeah, that'll work. Let's put one on one of these legs here. I don't think we need them on both. I'm going to put one right here. Whoops. Well, if I can get him, hang on a minute. Let me get my tweezers. Might make it a little bit easier because they're so small when you cut them in half. Let's do that. We just want to make sure that his legs stay down as well. Let's put one on this side. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're going to take these little pieces off. Hang on. Got that. All right. So give me your comment. Do you like the card? I think this is good. You'll see me use also. You're going to see me using this one a lot. All right, so I'm going to place the horse right here as if he's in the grass or whatever that is. Put him down a little bit so it doesn't look like he's over the mountain. And I'm going to leave his head hanging over, which is fine because he's not obstructing the opening of the card. And then we're going to give that a good press. Let me do that one more time with the bone folder. All right, and then we're going to add this to the front of our card. Again, the base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then we've got this big old piece here. That is our actual card, but we're going to slide it down on this piece. Makes it all finished up and looks nice and pretty. And then, you know, I'm not going to add any. I was going to add some embellishments to this, but I think it's going to be left just the way it is. So there you go. There's it's about the journey. And then thanks for being a true friend. And it opens up and you can see our continuation of our field and mountain. Isn't that cute? And then here's the one that we did with the inspiring imperfections. So there you go. Another wonderful and easy technique card. So I hope you all enjoyed this. If you need any supplies, you can find those in my online store. The link is below the video in the description. You should be able to find that there. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me, leave me a comment, or you can leave me comments anyway under the video. If you have questions, you can leave me a comment or message me through Messenger or Facebook. However you want to reach me is fine. And let me know what you think of these cards. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous, and I love this. I love this bowl. So, all right, everybody, try it, Karen. I think you'll find how easy it is. But always say and never do. All right, I'll make sure that you do. I'll keep reminding you. All right, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this and these cards. If you do make them, please post them on the Facebook page or shoot me an email and let me know where you've got them posted at if you're on Facebook and you post it there as well. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you spending your Friday afternoon with me. Actually, I did well. The guys are going to be happy now they can come in. So thanks again, and I will see you soon. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back on Tuesday. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye now.